All right, good. What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm gonna try to do this with my windows down because I got a cool day down here, a cool morning. But I want to deal with. I posted something yesterday about the possible need for black sections in comic book stores, and it opened up not necessarily a can of worms, because it was a can of worms that opened up that caused me to write the blog in the first place. I had gone to my comic book store after coming from WakandaCon, and I was looking around, and I told my son, I said, I asked her, they had no Black Panthers, no Luke Cage on the shelves. And so I asked him, I said, how come you don't have any Black Panthers? I mean, there's like 4 Black Panther titles. My comic book store is right near my town, which is predominantly black, okay? Predominantly black and Latino. And I'm gonna put the windows on. And they said, it sells out every time. And I'm saying to myself, well, damn, if it sells in my head, I'm trying not to be controversial or confrontational, well, damn, why don't you get more since they sell? I mean, you gonna stock up on comic books that don't sell? I mean, you have everything. I mean, I can go through, all of them. And I mean, I don't want to put them on blast, but if I have to, what a comic book store looks like. We've got 6 rows of titles. Then they have new releases, which is maybe another row, which is a lot of independents or just not the regular superhero ones. So we have that. But, they have all of that on there. And no Black Panther. And, one of the guys that work at the shop, to me, is suspect, because he done seen Infinity Wars, Iron Man, all of them, Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Doctor Strange, and still ain't see Black Panther. And I know when I go next week, he ain't see it, because now it ain't even in theaters, so you have to get it on DVD, unless you fly in an airplane, and I saw it on the airplane twice. So I think it's a question. Now, people came at me yesterday on both sides. One person said, I'm a librarian, and we always pull out special interest titles. So coming up with a black section is a good idea, because we do it in libraries all the time, all right? And that's correct. They may do small themes like ghost stories for horror. For Halloween. They may do, traveling to China books. And that's really cool. Now, mind you, some bookstores do that too. You understand what I'm saying? If Meg is coming out, they may put all their shark stories together. No question. If Night of the Living Dead is coming out, somebody, or a big one, they may put out, they may put out all their shark stuff. So, boom. So if Black Panther is the biggest seller in history, right, is going for, what was the name of that? Going with the Wind. It's going for Going with the Wind title, regardless if it gets it. Hell, how long has it been since we seen since Going with the Wind was out in theaters? So even if it don't break Going with the Wind record, it's still making big waves. So you should be pulling some stuff together. Luke Cage broke the internet. Wouldn't it make sense to you, comic book store owner, to pull together some Luke Cage stuff? And Marvel, doesn't it make sense to you that, if Luke Cage, like you did with David Walker's run, isn't wearing a tiara, that you tailor some of your stories to this success, because this is a potential audience, so now I got backlash, and I agree that, it was a question to begin with, so I never said, every comic book store needs to have this, but I got backlash, rightfully so, but I modified it. I personally feel that in Oregon, Maine, Iowa, North, South Dakota, you know what I'm saying? Okay, maybe Washington, these cities, these states were founded, many of them, or few of them, for white people. Okay, they're 99% white, 98% white. You understand what I'm saying? Not other, 98% white. So for that, maybe, right? And I got a point for that. Maybe you don't want to have a black section in a store like that. However, Black Panther didn't just succeed because of black people. Okay, so then the argument may be that Black Panther was a tie-in to the greater Infinity Wars storyline. All right, and I'll buy that. But then we watch Kung Fu movies, we watch Crazy Rich Asians. Okay, they have nobody else in there. So the argument that white people will only get into a black story if it's connected to an overall white or integrated story, I still question. Not to mention, hip-hop started without pushing integration. It was a black art form before Eminem, before Vanilla Ice. Beastie Boys was a phenom. You know what I'm saying? So for anybody to say that hip-hop was integrated, it wasn't anti-anybody, but it was certainly dominated by black and Latino people. So why do I say that? Because white kids all over America were into the music. They were into it because the characters was black, but also because the narratives of these stories was black. And they loved Public Enemy. You understand what I'm saying? And I still think a lot of those white people are around. Let's not think that all white people are Klansmen. All white people are Donald Trump Republicans. They're not. Okay, in Donald Trump years, Black Panther did what it had to do. Black Lightning is on TV doing it. Luke Cage is on in the Donald Trump years, which are probably, if people want to say, the most racially heightened years in America. So, I understand that. Now, the other point is, this is a slippery slope. Because what are we saying? What are we saying with a black section? Okay, black people, are we saying that black people will support their black comics only? Or are we saying that what defines it? Is it a black writer? And does it mean that, black writers are the only writers that can write black characters? Or watch out, because what happens when you say that, the flip side becomes a question. Do white characters need white writers? And now when you look at DC, we look at Marvel, a lot of black and Latino people have been writing bang-up stories for Flash, for Captain America, for Superman, for Batman. You know what I'm saying? They've been writing really good stories for white characters. And these white characters have amazingly large brands. Batman may have 10 different comic book stories. Superman may have a bunch, and they have different universes. They got kid stories. So, I don't want to take work out of potentially even my hands, no question. But for the reality is there is a variation between a white writer and a black writer, black characters, and even white characters or non-black characters and non-white characters that people recognize. Some of the reasons why we have African-American categories in the bookstores is because black people or stories have a different energy because they are written by a black person or the ethnicity or the cultural background of the person plays a part in the appeal to people or to the story. I say that because I'm a black science fiction writer. I think my science fiction is very much like other black science fiction writers. I think it is more like them than it is like Asian science fiction writers, Native American science fiction writers, and of course your white science fiction writers, right? All right, but does that mean that I can enjoy Ender's Game? Does that mean I won't enjoy white sci-fi? No question. But Doesn't mean that a white person won't enjoy Welcome to Boss Ladies Planet. Doesn't mean a white person won't enjoy the Harlem Shake, or Rashida the Zombie Killer. No, it doesn't either. So, but what does it mean? It does mean that I like Chinese food, so I don't mind going to a Chinese food restaurant. I don't mind having a restaurant cater to my specific taste at that particular time. So if I go to a comic book store and they have, Black Panther mixed in with the regular comic books, that's fine. But if they have Black Panther separate in a section with Luke Cage, with Black from Black Mask, or Starboy, or the one that Erica Alexander put together, or Tuskegee Airmen, some of the other independent titles, Does it mean that I'm going to be the only one that goes to that section? No, it doesn't mean that. But it does mean that section is grouped by taste. And so Asian people may come there, white people may come there, Black people may come there if they're looking for something like Luke Cage on television, or if they're looking for something like Black Panther in the movie, meaning a story that's written and created by a Black person. Even if it's a white created character, it's re-envisioned. That Killmonger, that M'Baku, the Luke Cage without the tiara and the bracelets, those are all impacts of Black creators. So I don't know, guys. I'm not really telling you what to do. I'm just thinking out loud, and I would like for you all to let's have this conversation. I do say, and I'm gonna post it later, that I see an energy in comic books because of the writers that they're choosing, specifically spearheaded by Coates, and Natasha Coates and his Black Panther run, and this Luke Cage television show with, all these different writers, and I'm gonna post them up. Rodney Barnes, David Walker, and some of the other people that have written these stories. I see a different energy in these big brands and nerds from the 90s and in the 80s, 2000s, whatever. Y'all probably will debate me on this, and I'm open for the debate, because I only think I see a difference. And what I see is, if they want these comic books to succeed like these movies and films, then they're going to probably have to get writers who can write like these movies and films. Somebody, I'm going to big myself up, somebody like myself who's already targeting the urban audience, because I think Black people may be 13%, but we are some tight, loyal brand. And if we put a Black Panther comic book, and I've been pushing it, I'm putting it out there, I've been pushing a Killmonger comic book. If we put a Killmonger comic book out there, you're going to see people turning up to comic book stores that have never been to comic book stores before in their lives. Just like we saw a drove of Black people coming to superhero stories that ain't never seen a superhero movie before. And that's with all of the success that we've been having with superhero movies. I know I can count, people that love Black Panther that never seen a superhero movie before. So anyway, that's just a little bit of it. I was definitely going to get into previews, but I'll talk about that later. And if you don't know what previews is, it's the catalog that comic books are listed in, and why I think that needs to have a Black section too. All right. But this is just my thoughts, man. Y'all can hate on me, but I'm thinking for solutions, because I got upset when the run for Falcon was canceled, because I was just starting to enjoy it. Black Panther and the crew. Jeez, come on, y'all. I'm only talking. All right, I'm way over time. I don't like going this long. All right, man, peace. Check my books out, and let's talk about it, because we're going to talk about it. All right, peace.